Good morning. I am threading my Toika Eeva computerized loom this morning. It's a 24 shaft loom and I get asked pretty often how hard it is to thread. I don't find it to be hard at all to thread. I get comfortable in the loom and there's a few tricks that I've learned though that make it a little bit easier. And if you just break it down into, 24, that's like 3 8-shaft looms or 6 4-shaft looms just stacked together. And treat it like that. It'll help you not make mistakes. So I'll turn the camera around and show you a few of the tricks that I use. One of the things that I do is these little rubber grommet thingies here that hold the shafts tight. I'll pop each one of them up on all the shafts. That enables the Texsolve heddles to slide really easily. So I do that on both sides all the way up. The second thing I do, or another thing that I do, is to sit right inside the loom. I've got the knee beam and the breast beam removed. They're laying over here on the floor along with the beater bar. And then I set a small bench inside between the cloth beam and the back footrest or the front footrest. And I'm using my little Julia bench because it lowers down really easy, and it is about the same height as the cloth beam. So then I can I scoot it back. Oh, another thing that I do is use my software to raise my shafts, all 24 of them up so that they're at a closer to eye level. And I just step inside of here, swing my leg over the cloth beam, and then I'm ready to thread. I have my cross, my least sticks hanging from the back shaft. I don't know if you can see that very well. My white, I've got a white that's out of the cross there, no big deal. This is 24 ends, threaded 1 through 24 in a straight draw twill. Each color is 24 ends, so that makes it an easy check to make sure that I'm not off ever. So I will grab a stripe and get it pulled out, unknot it, and then it's gonna be a little hard because I only have 2 hands. I will take and pull out one of each heddle from each shaft, and I just kind of swing the shafts up out of the way to know that I've gotten each one. So there's a bundle there. Back over to here. And again, this is hard with one hand holding the camera. There's 2 more. I teach beginners to do this even on a 4-shaft loom to keep their threading more accurate and to provide another check. So if you're threading 1, 2, 3, 4 straight draw on 4, go ahead. I know it's simple, but go ahead and pull out one of each. That way, when you're finished with your 4 threads and you don't have any heddles left, you know you haven't made a mistake. And you'd be surprised how many times you might thread 1, 2, 2, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, and like, oops, I missed that 3. Well, that 3 is a lot harder to throw back in after you're tied on and tensioned, and then you've got to put a repair heddle in or tie a repair heddle. They're never the same height as they should be and will cause you problems the whole way. So there, I've got all 24 pushed to the center. See that? Okay, now I'm going to go up here and look and double check the tops of my harnesses that I have all my heddles. Okay, we'll see how this works now with my kind of tripod. I put the bundle in my left hand and then reach back through behind all of the heddles on the right side and grab the first two that were in my cross. I'm going to come up here and with my left hand hold the two heddles, pick the first thread without pulling it all the way through, just make a loop, stick that loop through, and then I use my third finger to kind of hold on to that without pulling it through again. Grab the next one, make a loop, stick it in, hold it. I'm holding it tight with this left hand, and then I'm going to feed it onto my finger. Now I dropped that onto my third finger, and then pull those through. First two threaded. This is really slick when you have like 4 in a cross, but my white is the only color that was wound with 4. So again, I'm going to pull it up, holding it tight with my left hand, make a loop, pull it through with my third finger, lace it on with that third finger again, pull those two. Next bundle. Hold the heddles, for next two heddles with my left hand, make a loop, lace that on. Sometimes it takes both hands. Now sometimes I will just kind of do the same thing, but I always hold the heddles with my left hand to keep them steady because they're Texol, they're not solid steel like on some looms. And sometimes I'll just go ahead and pull that through, but I have a lot of length pulled here because of it being, I have to have them long enough to go through all 24 shafts. And so there's a lot of extra when you get down to the back. So again, I'm gonna pop that one out, make a loop. I can pull it through, push that aside. And since I sorted out my 24 heddles to begin with, I know I have everything. I'm not really counting harnesses on this one. Next bundle. I hope I'm not in the way of the camera. I love how these harnesses just swing. They are easy to move around. If I'm only doing 16 or 12 or 8 on this loom, I will sometimes take an ankle strap and tie up the harnesses, tie them back, the ones that I'm not using, so that I don't mistakenly thread a 9 thinking that it's an 8 or 17 instead of a 16. That's really easy to do, especially with bifocals. Oh, see, my mistake there. Pulled that one from the wrong side of the heddles. I don't know how I did that. Always break your threading down into sections. This is easy because it's 24 shaft straight draw, so 24 is a section. If it was a block twill, I'm trying not to get in the way, now I can't see. I would do each block. That way, on a 4 or 8, you can usually figure out like thread 8 in a section and then double check them and then tie them up. Don't just leave all your ends hanging. It's so much harder to go back and check that you have everything correct, and it also makes it really easy to miss one when you go to tie on. And where's my last heddle? It got moved over. The last harness, I've got my washer up really loose, and so they just keep sliding all over the place. keep losing my last heddle. I use most of these same techniques with all my looms. With my Glamacra, I sit right inside. Now, I can look at this and easily double check by flinging these harnesses 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm watching the threads move in the heddles. It was on, I think, 11, 12, 13, 14. Make sure that one is threaded. Yeah. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All of them. Push them all aside, get them all nice and neat, and then do a little slip knot here to hold these. You can see all my bundles. I've been threading for about an hour and I'm almost halfway done. I can usually do about 600 in a couple hours, so it goes pretty quickly. Well, I hope that helps. Hope you could see that, and let me know if you have any questions.